Hey guys, what's going on? This is Pedro from Music by Pedro. Today we're going to take a look at NUVO's line of instruments. Now, I did a review a couple years back. The instruments were well received. There was a lot of positive comments, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you ended up buying something to try them out. Well, they've made a lot of improvements since that last review, and I want to talk about some of the changes that have happened and updates to the instruments. I'm really happy with the way all of these instruments are laid out. So we're going to go right one back to back, and then if you have any specific questions, you can drop them in the comments below, or you can just go get one and try it out yourself. This is the Toot, and it is an awesome looking flute-like instrument. Now, it does have a lip plate with a blowhole in which you have to blow air across. However, they do give you a second lip plate that makes it super easy for you to get that sound. I remember when I started back in, I don't want to know how long ago that was. When I started playing flute as a saxophone player, going into flute, the biggest hurdle for me was to get a good sound out of my flute. And that can be discouraging to a very young musician. They want to start making music right away and they can't. And so NUVO has thought ahead and has designed this switchable lip plate so you can put it right on your flute. The instrument itself is dishwasher safe. This is perfect for teachers who want to do a full set and get kids started early on these instruments. They are very robust, very well built, and they're built for curious hands. They're built very rugged in terms of the quality. You have these silicone cone hole covers as well as other sorts of features that make the instrument perfect for a young musician. Amazing little instrument, is perfect because it does help you get started into playing flute right away. This helps you get started into making music. This helps you get more comfortable with that lip plate, which is probably, I think, one of the biggest challenges when you're learning a new instrument. Now let's go into what I call the sister or brother, the sibling of the Toot, and that is the Dood. Now the Dood is D-O-O-D, and one of my favorite things about it is that it works in the same way that the Toot does, except it's made with the single reed player in mind. This is for young musicians who want to get started on a reed-like instrument. Maybe they have an attraction to it or there's something to explore there. Again, same kind of fashion. The bell is made out of silicone, so it's perfect. If you're gonna ding it into stuff, you're not gonna worry about it shattering into a million pieces. So it's perfect for young musicians, and the tone holes and everything are covered in the same way. You have an adjustable hook back here for your hands. Everybody's hands are different sizes, and I love the fact that NUVO really goes out of their way to make sure that a young musician has one less thing to worry about. Another great design is that the ligature is not as something that they have to really finagle and become a challenge every time they put their instrument together, but it comes with a single push design where you just push it, you slide the reed out, and then same thing, you slide the reed in, and then it lines it up perfectly every time. I remember when I started playing saxophone, man, the challenge was always to try to get the reed perfectly lined up. So they did a really nice job of designing this. Everything here is silicone. For teachers, it's perfect because it is also dishwasher safe. Perfect little instrument for someone who wants to get started on a single reed instrument. Moving up in size is the Clarineo. Now I reviewed the Clarineo. This is the Clarineo 2.0. They made some big improvements, some big changes to it. I still love these silicone bells. I don't know why, I just find them so cute, especially for a young musician. I remember this very vividly when I was young. I dropped my clarinet bell. It shattered into a million pieces because it was tempered plastic. I felt so bad. We had to end up buying a new bell, and it was just really terrible to have to do that. NUVO thinks ahead, and they went ahead and said, hey, let's not get into the bell selling business. We want to empower early young musicians to get started. So they think about that. Now this is in the key of C. This is not to be confused with the clarinet. That's why it's called a Clarineo. I do have a review of a clarinet that they made. That's going to be coming out soon, so make sure you stay tuned for that. This is the Clarineo in the key of C. Amazing design. You do get a nice set of reeds to get started. These are plastic synthetic reeds, perfect for kids who just may accidentally want to touch the tips of the reeds. As we all know, if you've played a reed instrument long enough, you don't want to touch the tips, especially at a young age, because we're just not as delicate with our hands as we will be. They give you a set of plastic reeds, which I tried one of them already. Sounds awesome. They also give you a cane reed, which is really cool to be able to give that a try. Here's what this one sounds like. again, super light. It's amazing. It sits really, really well. In terms of the craftsmanship, I mean, this is all made out of plastic. It's a fantastic way for kids to start getting their hands on what will eventually be the route to either a clarinet or a saxophone. But getting so much time this early in the game with a reed instrument puts you so many miles ahead of where I was when I started playing, because I didn't have these instruments available when I was growing up. Clarineo by NUVO, amazing stuff. In terms of what comes with it, you also get a nice swab so that you can swab it out. And just for safekeeping, you do have a nice silicone cover to protect your reed. It comes in different colors too. The next instrument kind of looks like a weird, funky clarinet. This is the jSax. This is the 2.0 version. It's an amazing little saxophone, pretty much. I don't think there's really a middle between clarinet and saxophone. This is definitely one if you're really leaning towards that saxophone route, and it's a nice, bigger, a little bit louder instrument with the silicone bell. Again, I love it. It's super, super cool. In terms of the quality of the instrument, one of the things that I really like is that starting as a young musician, you're given this jSax in the key of C. You have a cool fingering chart that you can follow along with. But then once you kind of, you feel like, hey, I'm getting pretty comfortable with it. I'm kind of rocking it, right? You can actually take these key covers off. For example, this one. And you can start experimenting with chromatic fingering. So you don't have to just play in the key of C. The key of C is the people's key, and it's a great key to start. But eventually you want to start exploring different keys so that you can play with other instruments, right? This is a really nice way to kind of get your feet wet without bombarding you with all of the different ways that you can play saxophone. A single reed instrument has the thumb holder, the thumb release for the reed. I'm playing on the synthetic reed here. I'm playing on the synthetic reed here. So let's take a listen. I especially like the feel of the instrument. It feels very much like a tiny saxophone, but they've done a really good job, again, of just not bombarding you with too many keys, too many options, which I think can be a little bit daunting if you're jumping into clarinet or if you're jumping into saxophone. Again, really good quality, amazing work. The next instrument is the jFlute. I've reviewed this one before. This is the 2.0 version. So they've made lots of internal improvements in terms of how to make it sound better, feel better, sound better in terms of not just sound production, but also the keys, how quiet it is, the overall feel. They've extended this G sharp key, for example. There's a lot of really good things. Another great thing that I mentioned was that it comes with swappable lip plates. So you have a regular lip plate, and then you have one with a tip so that you can blow into it. So I'm gonna play this one with the lip plate, since I played the other flute with the blowhole, just so you can get an idea of what this means for you. In terms of quality, I really like that they put a lot of grip so that this doesn't slip out of your hand. They also did it for the thumbs, and they did it for the left hand here so that it sits and it stays. It doesn't go anywhere. I love the rubbery accent pieces. Really just looks really, really good. Let's take a listen. I decided I'm gonna play it with the blowhole open. I love it. It's perfect for someone who wants to get started. They give you this head that is already kind of spun. And the reason why this is like this, in case you're wondering, is because when you're like in third grade or super young, maybe you're like 6 or 7, your hands don't have the reach to play a flute all the way in its normal horizontal length. And so they've went ahead and curled this up to make it very easy for young musicians to start playing right away. I like it. They give you a nice little swab so you can swap it out after it's done. And again, because these are classroom type instruments, they're all dishwasher safe. So you can buy a set of these and start playing in a young orchestra full of flutes, full of clarineos, jSaxes, etc. When your classroom, your class graduates as a teacher, you can throw all of these in the dishwasher, get them nice and clean for the next group. I really like it. I think it comes in other colors and variations. I think I've seen a blue one. They sent me the green one. Really good quality, amazing work, feels great. This next one is a very, very cool instrument. This is the first time I reviewed this one. It wasn't around when I reviewed the first line of instruments that NUVO had. I'm super happy to show it off because it looks freaking cool. I think you've seen me play the P-bone and the P trumpet, and those are great replacements for traditional trumpet, traditional trombone. But is there something to help young aspiring brass musicians? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think there's anything as good as the jHorn. Now, this is pretty cool. It comes in different colors. There's so much to talk about in this instrument. First of all, it comes with swappable cups, and it gets a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper, just in case the musician wants to explore more of the low type of instrument. You can easily put that cup in and get a nice low sound. You also have nice plastic valves. You have a spit valve, which just stays on. It's great. This is perfect for like classroom type of settings where you don't have to worry about them breaking anything. This is all silicone. They just move it out of the way, and then they can empty out whatever water they need to get rid of. As we continue down the line, you see in the front here, you have these adjustable slides for each valve. The best part about it is that these, as you can see, maybe I'll try to get a little bit closer. See them maybe, yeah. Kind of. They come with a set of C slides and a set of B flat slides, which is really cool because you can then play with all your other C band instruments, or you can go the B flat route and kind of start playing with other brass instruments as well. So it's really, really cool. It's a fantastic bridge between no brass instrument and brass instrument. I am personally a fan of the cups, the set of slides to go from B flat to C, super, super handy. The instrument itself is relatively light. It comes in a really cool bag. And then swapping these out is just easy. I'm gonna play a little bit. Now, as you guys know, I do play just a little bit of brass. It's not anything worth bragging about, but I can definitely tell there's a lot of amazing work that went into this instrument. And I see the benefit of early musicians wanting to play something that isn't heavy, that has lots of explorability. I do wanted to say also, now that I took this out, that you can actually, if you don't want to experiment with cups or you're ready to go with an actual metal mouthpiece, you can put that in instead. But I don't have one, but we're gonna go with this route. I'm gonna play a couple of notes just so you can hear the quality and a little bit of sense of the instrument. So that was with the big cup. I'm gonna swap it out to this little cup and see how it feels. While I'm not the best of players, there's just so many benefits to a young musician who actually wants to dive really deep into this. I may take a round with it because I probably need to get a little bit better with my brass chops. It's a fantastic instrument. Again, NUVO, man, the whole line is just good. And watching the improvements go from the first line of instruments to the 2.0 just means that they're listening and they're wanting to focus on the big picture. And that is empowering young musicians to start making music as soon as they physically can. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about these instruments, please drop it below, or you can check out the links also that I'm going to put in the description so that you can learn more and maybe get your hands on one of these. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.